Table Derby fans, it is finally time for the 2021 Car Demolition League playoffs. So 12 teams, their season is done, and now there are 12 heading into the playoffs with that goal, that quest, that task to win Crash Bowl 25. 4 of those teams will fail at that task today, and another 4 of them will take one step closer to completing it. That being said, on to the games we go. We got our first matchup on tap here. We've got the 12-7-0-1 Detroit Devils, the number 5 seed of the Western Conference, on the road to take on the 12-7-0-1 Houston Oilers, the number 4 seed of the Western Conference. Houston, for them, this is their first playoff appearance since 2017. They are trying to win their first world title since 2008. The Detroit Devils, they used to be the Roswell Aliens. They would love to make it back to the Crash Bowl. They haven't been there since 2012, and of course they never won it. Even when they were the Aliens, they never won it. But this team was just in the Eastern Conference Finals just 2 years ago. Last year, second last place in the league, and now look at them back in the playoffs. We'll see how they can do. Let's get a look at the lineups for this first round matchup, starting with the visiting Detroit Devils. Pioneer leads the way for the Devils today, followed by V-Dog at the middleman spot. To the captain spot is Spectite, and that 5-point gainer for the Detroit Devils is Black Marinello. To the home side, the Houston Oilers lead the way with Surf Crate Custom today, followed by Blue Indy. At the captain spot is Y, and at 5-point gainer for the Oilers, it's going to be Sonic Boom. So the Detroit Devils beat the Houston Oilers in Houston during the regular season. 15-5 was the final. They were on the road when they did, or my mistake, 15-10, and they did it on the road. Now the Houston Oilers won 15-5 on the road against Detroit. That's why they got home field today. They won on point differential, even though they were tied in the records. So here's the ultimate tiebreaker right here. Pioneer and Surf Crate Custom leading us off, and both cars are down. Pioneer and Surf Crate Custom take each other out. So that leads now to V-Dub and Blue Indy, game tied at 5. That time we had a bad roll. Bad roll, no contact. Blue Indy was leaning up against this post here. So they'll roll again. 5-5 is the score. Interference that time. Back to their own sides, going at it again. The rookie V-Dub. One Rookie of the Year, but did not make the All-Star team, and he gets a tie here with Blue Indy. So both Blue Indy and V-Dub are down. And that brings up Spectite and Y. Game tied at 10. Nobody's had the lead yet here in our first playoff game. And now Y and Spectite going at Spectite has a good flip. The Oilers trailing now at home. 15-10 the score. And now Spectite looks to put this game away. Sonic Boom trying to force overtime. Both cars staying up there. They'll go at it again. Spectite almost had him that time. Sonic Boom able to stay up. And this time Sonic Boom has a good flip. And folks, we are heading into overtime in our first playoff game. And Donnie, take him to the disco. Benny needs to learn how to dance. Welcome to overtime in the playoffs. There are no ties at this point on. Black Marinello out for the Detroit Devils. Sonic Boom out there for the Houston Oilers. Tied at 15. Next flip wins. And we don't accept ties here. Take it back with the bottles that don't mean nothing to the store. Just recycle it to be a good person, I guess. That's the whole point of it now. Sonic Boom able to stay alive. Black Marinello applying pressure. Both cars able to stay up there. This 4-5 matchup of the Western Conference. In OT, and it is over right there. Sonic Boom gets the flip. Black Marinello is down 20-15 the final in overtime, and the Houston Oilers are going around to the number 4 seed. Moving on, they defeat the 5th seeded Detroit Devils, and a prop has to be given out. So this is what we call the final bag-in here in the Car Demolition League for the final time. In 2021, the Detroit Devils will go to their bag. This is the bag where we keep the cars, of course, when they're not on the field competing against each other. So a league-operated team that went from second last place to making it to the playoffs. But unfortunately for them, it ends just far too soon as they would have liked. So for the final time, the Detroit Devils in 2021, into their bag they go. What a matchup that they put here to start the playoffs up. It was a good effort, no doubt, but just short in the end, as they will fall to the Houston Oilers. Sonic boom, 2-0 from the 5-point gainer spot, and the Oilers are moving on to round 2. We'll find out who their opponent's going to be a little later. So now, time to switch it to the soft field. The Montreal Saints trying to pull off the upset of a lifetime on the road against the New York Empire. Stay tuned, the 3-6 matchup of the East coming up next. Welcome back, Smashheads. Just like that, on to the 3-6 matchup of the Eastern Conference. The number 6 seeded Montreal Saints, Lila Geyser squad, coming in with a record of 7 wins, 6 losses, 2 ties, and 5 overtime losses. They're in the playoffs somehow, some way. A month ago, if you told me this team would make the playoffs, I would think you were crazy. They only won 3 out of their first 14 games, but they got points in 14 out of their 20 games total, and half of them were wins. So thus they are here with those 30 points, trying to pull off the upset against the New York Empire. 13 wins, 6 losses, no ties, 1 overtime loss. A league-operated team, heavily favored in this one, but in the regular season, these two teams took each other to overtime twice, and both of them split the results. So Montreal getting the win on May 24th, and June 29th, the Empire returned the favor. Again, both times in OT. And overtime, an element that I assure you the Montreal Saints are not new to this season. They were there a lot. So both teams set and ready to go. Let's get a look at their lineup. Starting with Padawan for the Montreal Saints. Following him out there is going to be Black Bullet 1. At the captain spot for Montreal is going to be 46 Jr. At 5-point gainer for Lila Geyser squad is 24 Hours. So the Montreal Saints, they are ready to go. Their opponents, the New York Empire. League-operated team leading the way with 15 Turbo. Followed by Rising Heat at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's Black Bullet 2. And at 5-point gainer, it's going to be Challenge for the New York Empire. The Empire and the Saints, 2 teams, trying to win their first Crash Bowl, trying to get to their first Crash Bowl, for that matter. Padawan and 15 Turbo leading us off. Game is on. Both cars staying up. Offense versus defense here. And Padawan has a good flip. 5-0 Montreal in the lead. They really turned it on in the second half of the season, about the last month of the season. They are up 5-0 here, but enter Rising Heat. Rising Heat so good defensively, and that time we are going to do a review. As the rule on the field stands right now, both Padawan and Rising Heat were down, but folks, we are going to take another look at it to see if contact was made between Rising Heat and his teammates. So, let's find out. Let's get a slow-mo look. Well, CDL fans, it was a tough call to make on the small screen of this little Canon EOS, but I got a look, and it looked like there was contact from what I saw. So there was an interference. It was against Rising Heat, and that's going to save both cars. So the score, instead of 10-5 Montreal, it's only 5-0 Montreal. So both cars still in it, though. So Montreal can turn this into something positive, and so could New York. So an even call either way, as we have a definite interference there. 2 good defensive cars out there. Rising Heat almost had Padawan there. And this time, Padawan is broken apart. And Montreal is going to have to use their one and only timeout of the game to repair this vehicle. That's exactly what they're doing. The tape has snapped. And that becomes a problem, because if they need to challenge a play later, they wouldn't be able to. So, but you gotta have a good car out there. You gotta have a car that's able to compete. and you're not going to be able to compete when you're multiple pieces. So, quick tape job here, and fresh tape is ready to go. For both teams, back set at it. 5-0 still the score. Montreal still in the lead. Almost a flip right there as they go at it again. Padawan and Rising Heat. Rising Heat able to stay up that time as they switch sides here, and out of play goes Rising Heat. Out of play there, still 5-0. Saints in the lead. And Padawan sticking really low to the ground there, almost hit a flip. The repair, I'm about to say that repair seems to have helped him a little bit. He's getting all the offensive chances. Rising Heat hanging on though. And able to hang on yet again. What great defense. Oh, Mama put him in a K-pop video, but couldn't hang on that time. 10-0 the Montreal Saints, one flip away from completing what would be a huge upset. Black Bullet 2 now out there, the franchise, trying to save the Empire yet again. And he keeps them in this game here. So the score now, 10-5. 10-5 in favor of the Montreal Saints. And just to think, we could have been here. This is somewhere we could have been at that one flip stood, the double flip stood. So we got a 10-5 game. Saints looking to put this game away. It's Black Bullet 1 trying to get the job done. He's the car without the 2 on the hood, right? Black Bullet 2, of course, out there for the Empire, trying to tie this game up. Here we go. 2 identical models, brothers, if you will, going at it here. Black Bullet 1 versus Black Bullet 2 with the game on the line. And Black Bullet 1 almost went down there. And this time Black Bullet 2 is down. Upset complete. The number 6 seeded Montreal Saints. Can you believe it? They're going to round 2 where the Philadelphia Demons await. The Empire, they could have been on to round 2 to play the Outlaws. But a 15-5 win, and folks, whether you know this or not, for the second straight year, the Saints have ousted the New York Empire in the first round of the playoffs. They did it last year at home, now they've done it on the road. And it appears the New York Empire have found their kryptonite, and it's that toy car demolition derby team, that table derby team from Montreal. They will be known as Les Monarchs next year. But this year is the Saints. They are on to round 2 with this 15-5 win. And for the last time in 2021, the New York Empire will be heading to their bag. The upset has occurred. The 7-6-2-5 Montreal Saints, who lost, well, I shouldn't say they lost 11 out of their first 14, but they only won 3 out of their first 14. And they have come out here and they've gotten the win today, carrying on their strong gameplay that they had towards the end of the season. But for the final time, New York in their bag. And congratulations to the Montreal Saints getting it done on the road. 15-5 the final. Coming up next, it's Alex Johnson versus Jim Hull Sr., the LA Blades, hosting the Chicago Wind Attack. So stay tuned. Welcome back, Smash Heads. Halfway through our first playoff game day, but the other half to go, right? Only 4 games. It feels like a half day at school, right? But at the same time, like, it's almost like final exams maybe, because it's, you know, do or die at this point. Win or go home. We've already seen one upset. The Montreal Saints defeated the New York Empire. Lila Geyser has to be thrilled about that one. That team has turned it around over the course of a month, and now they'll be heading on to play against Philly. But we got our next game on tap, so we head back to the Western Conference. The number 6 seed of the West, the Chicago Wind Attack, on the road to do battle with the number 3 seed of the Western Conference, the Los Angeles Blades. So the Wind Attack, Jim Hull Sr. squad, they come to this game with a record of 11 wins, 7 losses, no ties, 2 overtime losses, so a total of 35 points on the season there. The LA Blades, they come in with a record of 12 wins, 6 losses, 1 tie, 1 overtime loss, so a total of 39 points on the season. So only 4 points separating these 2 teams in the standings. That's how close the Western Conference really was. And Chicago did beat the LA Blades during the regular season. 15-10 was the final. So, can they get repeat results here? Or will the Blades turn the tables? Beating LA in LA, it's kind of tough to do twice, especially for a hard field team against a soft field team, but maybe Jim Hull Sr. has the correct formula for this one. We're about to find out. Let's get a look at the lineups. Blue Dragon leads the way for the Chicago Wind Attack today, followed by R at the middleman spot. At the captain spot is Hot Indy, same car that did give LA problems last year in the playoffs when he was with the San Antonio Defenders. And at 5-point gainer, it's going to be Red Detta. I think he gave him problems in the regular season too. I think it was more regular season than playoffs. But anyways, to the home side, Pink Indy Jr. leads the way for Alex Johnson's Los Angeles Blades. Following him out there is Code White. At the captain spot, it's Greelina. And at 5-point gainer, it's going to be Green Blaze Jr. So, the Blades and the Wind Attack set and ready to go here in our 25th season, round 1 of the playoffs. If the Blades win, they go to Mexico City. If the Wind Attack win, they'll go to Phoenix. Game is on. Both cars stay up. Pink Indy Jr. and Blue Dragon going at it to begin this game. And so far, both cars up to the task defensively, hanging on here. A little wobble, but still in the fight, and both cars are down. Blue Dragon, I'm about to call him Blue Indy. Blue Dragon and Pink Indy Jr. take each other out. We are tied at 5, and that's going to bring out R for the Wind Attack. Code White for the Blades. Here we go, game tied at 5. And both cars staying up there. So the match continues now. Now, these are the only teams that Jim Hull Sr. and Alex Johnson have sent to these playoffs, so a huge game here. Because Puerto Rico and San Antonio neither made it to the playoffs. Code White has a good flip there. R is down. And Alex Johnson's Blades are 1 flip away from punching their ticket to Mexico City. They are up 10-5 here. The 3 seed of the West trying to get the win. Hot Indy trying to tie it up for Chicago here. And almost was able to do so. And that time he is able to do so. So from the 10-5 to 10-10. All even at 10 here, that brings out Greelina now for the Blades. Can Hot Indy get it done? Greelina trying to hang on. And Greelina has a good flip right there. And the Blades back on top. 15-10 the score. And again, Greelina now trying to put it away for the Blades. Red Detta trying to force overtime for the Wind Attack. 15-10 the score. Here we go. Both cars almost went down. Staying up. Battle continues. Red Detta and Greelina having a fight right now. Both cars defensively strong. What a matchup we have here. And out of play goes Red Detta. He's able to save himself there. Still a 15-10 game. Blades in the lead. And it's going to end right there. 15-10 the final. And a hard-fought season by Jim Hull Sr., the Chicago Wind Attack. Kind of really, in a way, underperformed their expectations this year. But they can take one positive away, is that there's another season coming up. They didn't get too far in the playoffs, so their draft positions should still be okay. San Antonio's got the 4th pick overall, so it's not all gloom and doom for Jim Hull Sr. and his teams, but a tough loss in this opening round here in 2021. Congratulations to Alex Johnson and the LA Blades. They are moving on to the 2nd round. We will see Alex versus Brandon in round 2. So the classic rivalry there. But for the final time in 2021, the Chicago Wind Attack will enter their bag. They had to do this last year. It was not a good feeling for them. Only last year was Mexico City who eliminated them. This year, the 3 seed was the LA Blades. So the LA Blades are going to be going on the road against the Mexico City Jaguars in round 2. And the Houston Oilers will be on the road to take on Matt Geiser and the number 1 seeded Phoenix Firebirds. Top 4 seeds into round 2 in the West. But we'll see if the bottom 2 seeds in the East could make it. We already saw Montreal beating New York, so the 6 seed knocked out the 3 seed. Can the number 5 seed Tampa Bay Gators knock out the 4th seeded Toronto Titans? It's our last first round matchup, and it's next. And just like that, Smash Heads, we are back. Time for the last game here in our conference quarterfinals. First round of the playoffs here in 2021. The Western Conference semifinals is already set up. We got Houston at Phoenix in round 2 and LA at Mexico City. But speaking of Brandon Kuma, how he owns Mexico City, he also owns the defending world champions, the Tampa Bay Gators, who are trying to avenge a loss here today against the Toronto Titans. Of course, I'm talking a regular season loss, but it was a pretty darn big one. So 15-5 was the final score of the game that took place on June 2nd between these two teams. Toronto on the upside of that one. Tampa Bay trying to avenge that, and wouldn't you know, Toronto is sending the very same lineup at the Gators here today. But it ain't exactly the same lineup from the Gators. So let's get down to it. The number 5 seed of the East. 12 wins, 7 losses, no ties, and 1 overtime loss. The Tampa Bay Gators, defending world champs, leading the way with Battle, followed by 47 Ronin at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's Ratified, and at 5-point gainer, it's Purple Fire. To the home side of the field we go. The Toronto Titans, same lineup that they used to beat Tampa Bay earlier in the season, a record of 12 wins, 7 losses, no ties, 1 overtime loss. Yes, identical to Tampa Bay. They lead the way with Indy 5 Jr. Following him out there is X-Wing. At the captain spot is Synchro, and at 5-point gainer, it's going to be Wen for the Toronto Titans. So Indy 5 Jr. took down both Battle and Ratified in the first meeting. 47 Ronin was the car that took him out. So that being said, Battle looking for better results here. And of course, Indy 5 Jr. Looking for repeat results. So two teams equal as far as win-loss goes, but first time they met it was a different story. But that June 2nd game took place during a move. So we were on the floor, and there was no mesh around us. So we'll see what difference it makes. Indy 5 Jr. and Battle starting us off. Both cars staying up, switching sides, and both are going to be down. 5-5 is the score. Indy 5 Jr. and Battle take each other out. We've seen that a couple of times today. The front runners, man, they're just satisfied with that tie collision. We are tied at 5. 47 Ronin now out there against X-Wing. So X-Wing got the flip on 47 Ronin in the first meetup. We'll see if he's able to do so again, or can 47 Ronin come back and play off form here. And Toronto been known as that Island of Misfit team, because they're Misfit toy cars. Signed through that expansion draft in 2020. It's just their second season. And battling here in the first round of the playoffs. The winner of this game will take on the number 2 seed of the East, the Gowanda Outlaws, in the second round. And look at this, battling on opposite sides of the field. I'll put him in the K-pop video. What a move by 47 Ronin, but that time down. And the Toronto Titans are 1 flip away from knocking out the defending world champs. 10-5 the score that brings out Ratified to deal with X-Wing. Will he be able to? Trying to tie this game up for the defending champs. And he does so. Ratified getting the flip that evens us at 10. And out comes Synchro now for the Titans. All even at 10 here. Toronto's first playoff game. Can you write a better script, right? Your first playoff game in your home against the defending world champs. Why not? Whoop. It was going to be a bad release, so it's good I didn't. But Synchro is down there, and Ratified has put the Gators on top, 15-10. And now Ratified looking for the win as that brings out Wen. Wen trying to force overtime. Not gonna happen. Sits him down, gets flipped quicker than a pancake at a Waffle House on a Sunday afternoon. 15-10's your final, and they are the champions, my friends. And they have a win here today. 15-10, the Tampa Bay Gators get the victory over the Toronto Titans on the road. And they get some revenge on to round 2 for the Gators, where the Gowanda Outlaws await. So, which is kind of interesting because it was the exact opposite last year. It was Gowanda getting the win in the first round to go face Tampa Bay. But Tampa Bay at the 5 seed, impressive today, and really, it's just an amazing factoid here, but this is Tampa Bay's first time that they're not the number 1 seed since 2017. So for the last 3 years they've been the number 1 seed. They're not this year, but at the number 5 seed, still able to get it done. So we'll have the Tampa Bay Gators and the Gowanda Outlaws, Houston Oilers and the Phoenix Firebirds, Los Angeles Blades and the Mexico City Jaguars, and then the Montreal Saints and the Philadelphia Demons. But that being said, a little respect to be paid to a team that just played their 2nd season and their very first playoff game ever as a team together. The Toronto Titans, a congrats to them on getting this far, but for the final time in 2021, the Titans will head to their bag. And officially now, I guess you could say, Montreal is now Canada's only team in this run-in. It might not have been the team they were expecting to have in the run-in by the end of this game day. Maybe they were expecting both. But the Gators get the win, and the champs, well, they're still defending. That being said, folks, James Hulse Jr. here, so appreciative of you giving any support, any little second smidget of a view, appreciating everything that you give or put into this league, whether you're picking lines or not, or you're part of the CDL Facebook page. That being said, like this video, subscribe, and if you want more professional table derby, Car Demolition League style, go on ahead, follow us on Facebook at Car Demolition League. Ask to join, trust me, I'll let you join. We're just trying to keep some of the, trolls that post links to viruses and shit. We're trying to keep them, so that's why it's a private. But continue to follow us, and just so much love if you do, no doubt. So until next time, folks, much love. As always, take care of yourself. I don't know how to do my outro. As always, take care of yourself, be yourself, and peace. "25 years is a long time, it goes by in a flash. It's a milestone, casted in silver, its shine is unmatched. People came and went, the way that people do. I've been here for every moment, lucky to see it through. This league has seen great times, there were times I've had my doubts. There's history in this league that the world knows nothing about. The first 2 seasons I was just a kid passing the time. Along came John Dale in 1999. The 2 went head-to-head in Crash Bowl 3. John Good won the game and thus began a legacy. I said in 03 that Crash Bowl 7 would be the last. I'm too old for this, I thought. I look back now and I laugh. 07 and 08 were the Army years. The Outlaws and Oilers stood tall. In 2012, Shaney proved that even a kid could win it all. Now winning the Crash Bowl isn't easy, and he can attest to that fact. But when Alex Johnson's efforts finally paid off, he won it back to back. And for the past 5 years, we've witnessed what looks like syndication, as Jim Hulse Sr. and Brandon Kuma have imposed their domination. From the expansion to the nomadic era and through the Miku years, the best place for table derby has always been right here. Crash Cat, if you're listening, just know we all miss you. And we'll miss you every day until we meet again, Miku. We play table derby for you and for everyone else, for anyone who's ever had a single doubt about themselves. It might not look as grand as I intended, but we've been making our own legends since 1997. Will another chapter be written, or will a new legend arise? Our answer's at the end of the winding silver road to Crash Bowl 25.